Alright, can I make up my own postulates? This is a question we get a lot, and the technical answer is yes. You can make up your own postulates. Several people in the past have made up their own postulates. First of all, Euclid made up his own postulates, right? He did that in order to create his entire system of Euclidean geometry. He picked those 5 postulates as his starting points. Other people have come in and changed some of those postulates or had new postulates, and they have created different geometries. Okay, so you can do that. But now we gotta talk about purpose, right? If you are coming up with your own postulates, why are you doing that? A lot of times, maybe you guys are trying to come up with your own postulates because you don't really like, maybe the particular question that you're on, and you're trying to make it a little bit easier for yourselves. Now, I get that. But the only actual reason to come up with your own postulates is if you want to create your own system of geometry, right? So if Arvin wanted to create his own distinct system of geometry, his own geometry, and call it Arvinian geometry, what he would do is he would pick some postulates to start from. Okay, so postulates are the baseline, the things that we can't really prove them, but we're going to start from here, right? And we're like, taking these things to be true. We're assuming them to be true. So he would pick some postulates, some starting foundational ideas, and he would build up from there, right? And he would call it Arvinian geometry, and it would be a whole thing. If he wanted to, he could build that entire system, and maybe, kids in 8th grade would be studying that 50 years from now. If you wanted to, you could do the same thing. You could come up with your own postulates, you could build an entire system of geometry, and then you could share it with the world, and students in 8th grade could potentially be learning it in 50 years. But if that's not your purpose, okay, so if your purpose isn't to change the entire way that we view geometry, that's chill. If your purpose is to do well in school, that's chill. But it means you gotta learn Euclidean geometry, right? So you can't go around making up your own postulates because that's not what's inside of Euclidean geometry. If you are learning Euclidean geometry, you gotta learn Euclid's postulates. You gotta learn the postulates inside of that geometry, okay? If you were to pick a whole bunch of random different postulates, you would be changing the system. You're no longer learning Euclidean geometry. So, it's all about purpose. If it is your purpose right now to come in, study Euclidean geometry, do well in your Euclidean geometry course in school, that's totally awesome. That's one of the things that we can absolutely help you with. It does mean, though, that you can't go around making up your own postulates, right? If you want to invent an entirely new system of geometry, come and talk to me. I love invention. I love creation. I'm all about it. I want to inspire you to become more, to create more. I think creation is the most human and beautiful thing that we do. It's spectacular act, creation. So, if you want to create a new system of geometry, absolutely come talk to me. I will help you make up your own postulates. We're going to do that. On the other hand, if you're learning Euclid, you gotta learn his postulates. Alright, cool, let's get back to it.